on us. Hi.
Class. I'm so glad to see everybody's face here.
John, this is Larry.
Hi, Larry. How are you? Glad that you could join us.
You bet.
This is the birthday boy.
Well, happy birthday to you. This is a great
This is a birthday gift from his daughter.
That is awesome. I'm so glad you're here today. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Brent.
And we are the Cocktail Evangelists behind Make Muddle, here to spread the good news about booze.
You're not.
Class, we are going to do hot toddies today.
I
So,
would now.
moving in, we're going to give a little groundwork here. Little rules for the road. If you will keep yourselves muted, I would love to see your faces. So please keep your cameras on if you want to. Keep yourselves muted unless you have a question along the way, and then just hop in or put it up in chat or whatever works for you. So awesome. Okay, also we are experimenting with dual camera angles today because we're fancy, because we're extra at Make Muddle. So you all are always our most reliable test market, and we would love it if for any feedback today after the class for what worked for multiple camera angles, what didn't, what you'd like to see more or less of. So hit us up after class and let us know what you think about all of it. As always, we are going to start with a cocktail because we're not savages. Okay. The first cocktail we are starting with is going to be a gin toddy.
And the gin toddy is made with our product, the honey lavender elixir. And this was actually created for this cocktail. And it is, but as we learned after we made it, it is a very versatile ingredient and can be used in many delicious things, such as a vodka lemonade, honey lavender lemonade, which has got me through.
I cannot hear him.
Okay.
I'll talk louder. It's me.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. So this recipe calls for, we're going to build all of these cocktails in the glass as we go. So I want my own. Do you want your own?
No, I'll wait. I'll just wait for the
whiskey.
Do
that one.
Okay.
Do that one. Okay. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of gin. Now for this cocktail, I am going to use a barrel-aged gin because I love barrel-aged gin. It makes me very happy. It works great with any gin that you have. Do
you want to warm this?
Oh yeah, we're going to warm the glass. That's
so the first step in a warm cocktail is to warm your glass. Ceramic or glass are great for this because it really retains heat and helps keep your cocktail hot for a while. And the way that I do this is just to fill it with hot water. We have a really great hot water dispenser. So we fill the mug with hot water, let it sit for a few minutes, few seconds, and then actually just dump the water back into your water boiler because the cup is clean, the water's clean, and you don't need to waste that hot water. So you just wait until that's actually already hot on the outside of the cup. So
because water boilers
yes. And then you can build in the glass. That'll help keep the cocktail warm for a little bit longer.
All right, we need to get a chance to do that. So
Sure.
We're good.
Okay. All right.
And we'll go slowly. We're going to use our angled jigger, and it is 1.5 ounces. I'll read through the recipe real quickly. 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, 1 ounce of honey lavender elixir, just a squirt of lemon juice, and that's it. Hot water, and then you top that with hot water. So most of the work, and that's one of the great things about this.
Can you go over that again, please?
Sure. It's also in your chat. If you click on the bottom of the screen, there should be like a word bubble. There's a chat, and it's actually printed there. It's an
okay.
1.5 ounces of gin. Hey, no problem.
1 ounce of grapefruit juice. 1 ounce of honey lavender elixir.
And you can use fresh squeezed grapefruit juice or a high quality purchased from the store grapefruit juice.
Mm-hmm. We're down to 1 ounce of honey lavender, and then just a squirt of lemon juice goes in here.
So the honey lavender elixir, the ingredients in this are pretty straightforward and mostly listed in the name. There's honey, lavender, a little bit of cane sugar, water, and then there's citrus zest. And we use a mixture of lemon and grapefruit zest. And that's why this is really awesome with the grapefruit juice. It really pulls out those grapefruit notes.
Was there a splash of lemon in there?
There is not yet.
Okay.
One thing this recipe does not list is grapefruit bitters.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually do just a couple shakes of grapefruit bitters, and that goes in plays well with the grapefruit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Totally optional. You don't have to use it if you don't have it on hand.
And then we're just going to top that with some hot water and give it a stir, and then it gets garnished. And for hot toddies, I really like not just peel, but I like wheels of it too. So I especially like the grapefruit for this. So I will do, if you will stir that, I will do the grapefruit.
I'm going to switch to the...
Oh, I do. Yes, I do. See, this is what happens. It's all brand new. Okay, so Brent's going to stir in yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to cut.
Excuse me,
Yes.
how much cane sugar is in here?
Well, you're not adding any. It's in the honey lavender elixir.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. And we do all the hard work on most of these cocktails, so it's really just measuring and dumping and mixing especially for the hot cocktails.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that guy right down into the glass and float it in there, and it's gonna give you all of that really beautiful citrus when you go down and take a smell. All right, I'm gonna
Switch to the
back
front
here, and we are gonna talk for just a second about toddies and the history. Cheers, y'all, for the first cocktail.
So, when we talk about
How much lemon? We didn't put the lemon in there
it's
yet.
just a squeeze. So if you have like a lemon wedge, you can squeeze that, or just a little splash. That really
Oh,
just
oh,
lightens up
okay.
the
Okay,
citrus in there, and adds vitamin C because toddies are medicinal.
They are, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, so the history of the toddy. You want to start with India? That's where it's,
Sure. So whenever we talk about cocktail history, there's always some more than one story to where a cocktail came from. And I think that's because people are drinking when they create cocktails. There's also, things happen at the same time in different places. So it's possible that there are two different origin stories. I think probably the most, the one that most people point to as the origin of the toddy is that it comes from a drink that was served from fermented palm juice in India. And when the British were colonizing the world, they went to India and discovered this drink. So it was made with fermented palm sap, some spices, and then hot water. And it was drank and enjoyed in India. The British discovered it and appropriated it.
Exactly. We know how the British like to colonize things.
Yes. And brought it back to England, and it really took hold there because it's a cool, damp environment, and the toddy is the perfect drink when you're in a cool, damp environment.
So, and then once it got to British soil, Scotland has an actual well called Todd's Well, and it's of course cold and damp and gorgeous in Scotland. So they would pull water from this well for these. Of course, their toddies were made with Scotch, and they would use the water from that well. And then in Ireland, there was a doctor named Robert Bentley Todd who actually ordered his patients to drink hot brandy and cinnamon and sugar water, like all of the things that we have in hot toddies. So
my doctors never recommended that.
Your doctors didn't? I think you're going to the
need a new
wrong doctor. That's right. Okay, so also, so in this honey lavender elixir, so when Brett was talking about it being medicinal, because it is, okay, there are lots of health benefits from lavender. It is absolutely, it helps digestion, it helps with nausea, it helps with reducing swelling. Of course, it has that awesome calming effect as well. And then grapefruit has all those gorgeous antioxidants in it. So we are, it is medicine. And we would suggest if you were going to do a toddy really because you were not feeling good at all, we would suggest that you probably go easy on the booze because that's what dehydrates you the fastest. But all of the other things in this are delicious and gorgeous to have while it's cold outside.
Yes, and there's the honey in it is great for if you have a sore throat as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this can be made without alcohol. You just leave the alcohol out, maybe increase the honey lavender elixir a little bit more juice and a little bit more hot water.
Renee says, how much hot water? Good question, Renee. You are just going to fill your mug. You're just going to fill the rest of the mug with hot water after you mix the ingredients in it. And then it's trial and error too. It's whatever you like in your own cocktails. You're welcome to use less water or more water, or, you know,
More gin.
Whatever works, man. Okay. I don't, you know. All right. Any questions about our honey lavender elixir? What do you think, guys? What are you thinking?
Go ahead.
How's that?
What, Larry?
Are all of these to be refrigerated after they've been opened, or only the one you mentioned here on the label?
No, that's good. All of our products, after you open them, should be refrigerated. You should shake them really well too, especially the whiskey toddy syrup that we're getting ready to use. That needs to be shaken really well. And then, yes, Shannon said she didn't fill the mug with hot water. And Patrick said more gin. Of course, more gin, Patrick. Yes, absolutely. Yes, but all of our products do need to go in the fridge. They'll stay fresh for at least a month in there. The only product we do not recommend that you refrigerate, we're not using today. It's our cranberry, orange ginger cranberry shrub. And because of the pectin in it, it solidifies. So we recommend that you don't refrigerate that one. But everything else, yes, please refrigerate. Okay, looks good. You all looking good over there with your toddies. Okay, here's the deal with classes for those of you who have never joined us before. It's about finishing the race, not winning the race. You do not have to keep pace with how quickly we are making these cocktails. You do not have to finish a cocktail before we make the next one. If you want to revisit it in a little while, that's totally fine. But this first cocktail, this was Brent's R&D on this one. And he called me and said, hey, I've got a gin toddy. And I was like, that's disgusting. Nobody wants hot gin. I don't want hot gin. He was like, no, really, you do. And then the first time we made it, it was like, oh my God, that's the best toddy ever. And it, like, I'm a whiskey toddy girl, but that gin toddy, it's my go-to. It's easy, like Sunday morning when you drink it. So yeah,
and you can drink them on Sunday morning.
You can drink them. It's totally appropriate as a little eye opener. That's right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to start warming the next set of mugs. And we'll probably both do this one because I like.
I haven't had a cocktail yet, so.
Whose fault is that? What mug do you have a mug preference?
I like that black mug.
What could you use other than grapefruit? Other than grapefruit juice, you could do orange juice would be lovely in that. Yeah, and Brent, we should mention that some grapefruit interacts with some heart medications, so be careful with that. Cholesterol medications. So yeah.
And there is grapefruit zest in the honey lavender elixir.
That's right. But any juices would be good. Blood orange juice would probably be delicious in that. I would probably up the honey lavender syrup just a little bit for the more bitter tart juices. But yeah, any citrus would work in there. I think
you can also just do a little more lemon and a little more water and skip the grapefruit juice if you don't have any on.
I also think that green tea would be lovely in there. And just as like a green tea and with a little bit of lemon in there too. It's going to give you some flavor on the back end, but not overpower anything. So
and also give you a little caffeine if you're looking for some pick you up.
That's right. Blood orange juice. Jamie, I'm Jamie and Julie. I'm glad to see you all on here from Colorado today. Good to see your faces and our Chicago crew. Gosh, we got all sorts of Chicago crew here. I see you all. Those are great faces. Love. Look, Sandy, there's our other the suburb, western suburbs. Je m'excuse. Okay. Black tea syrup would be, yes, black tea syrup would be delicious. As well. Okay. We're warming jar. You don't have a preference. There's no preference for you.
I'll drink out of anything.
Okay. Well, that's true.
I'll take the cleanest one. So the next syrup we're going to be using is our whiskey toddy syrup. This is one that's sort of in development right now. We've had a recipe. This is the first year that we've made up large batches, that we've scaled up the batch. And I think we're still hammering down the details on that. But this recipe actually came to me through a friend of ours in
It's on here
Chicago.
today.
And I don't know, are we calling her name out or?
We can't. Yeah, of course we'll call her name out.
So this was Elizabeth Flauto made this 1 year. Every year except for this year, we have gone to a pumpkin patch that's outdoor with our families, and a lot of friends get together. And this was her syrup that she brought 1 year, and I really enjoyed it. I took her recipe and tweaked it a little bit. I added black tea. I don't think it had black tea before, and I don't recall if I added honey or if it had honey, or I messed with the sweeteners in it a little bit, and came up with this syrup. So.
But it was inspired by Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is a milliner and a hatter. So we are thinking that we're probably going into production with this for real next year. This was our R&D year on it, and it'll probably be called Mad Hatter syrup,
or
Hatter Toddy,
something
or
of that,
something with Hatter in the name.
I was thinking of Hatter's ginger tea syrup.
Hatter's ginger tea syrup. There you go. That's what's happening. It'll be out not in R&D, but with a real label and everything next year. So yeah, we do heart Liz. She's the best. Okay, I think we're done warming things.
So this we talk about it being medicinal. I was in the kitchen, our commercial kitchen this morning, making a 10-gallon batch of this, and I can testify that
oh my god,
it has so much ginger, grated ginger in it. When I was stirring it, my face went numb from all of the ginger and the spice. It really does a lot of. It has a definite impact on your body when you drink it.
It does, and
So.
the great thing about ginger is that God, there's so many health benefits for it. This is like. It's like a shot of cocaine almost. This ginger is like,
So
bam! I mean, it's energizing and all the things. Okay, let me pull the recipe up for us real quick here. It is, all right, this is an easy one. We are going to start with 1.5 ounces of bourbon whiskey. Amen, hallelujah.
I started with the syrup, but that's okay. Do we want to switch to the?
We do want to switch. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm totally technically inept, so it's all that heavy lifting falls on Jennifer.
All right.
So I did the toddy syrup first. It's 1.5 ounces of toddy syrup. Ingredients straightforward: ginger, black tea, honey. We use an organic evaporated cane sugar, and then water and lemon zest. This has lemon zest in it.
And we are using today for our bourbon, you can use any bourbon you like. Of course, the best bourbon in the world is made in Kentucky. We are using a bottled in bond, 100 proof, Early Times bottled in bond, and it's delicious. Early Times is not generally a product that I would have chosen, but their bottled in bond is fantastic. So we highly recommend it. And it's becoming more widely available. It was a Brown-Forman brand, and they sold it to Sazerac, which is the company that owns Buffalo Trace. And it's now in mass production through them. So we're hoping the availability is going to be more. It's only been available in the region, for the last 2 years. So. Okay, so we did 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1.5 ounces of toddy syrup, and just a squirt of lemon.
It's an ounce. I did an ounce.
An ounce of lemon juice. Sorry. Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna top it with hot water. Oh, this smells so good.
We'll go ahead and cut some. One thing that's really fun to do with this, we should have done, is to make a clove-studded lemon wheel. So you would just take your cloves and just pierce in the side of this, and it just looks fun. Adds a little bit more spice to the cocktail. Makes it look a little more fancy. But I thought of it just now. So
yeah, Jamie says, Jamie and Julie say High West bourbon. We love High West bourbon.
Yes, absolutely.
That is one of our favorites. I actually have a bottle of it on my bar. So my husband and I had a major flood the day before Thanksgiving, and we have been displaced out of our home during this. And so there was a very limited bourbon collection that I brought with me, but one of the High West, the Prairie, from the High West was one that I brought with me. So yes, absolutely. And that lemon wheel is so pretty floating in there. It's just, that is happy times right there.
I'm going to come out and say that Jennifer's limited bourbon collection puts to shame most bourbon collections in the country. So
I'm sure I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, cheers, y'all.
cheers.
Does anybody have any questions so far about how we're doing on the whiskey one? Everybody doing okay?
I think that's delicious.
This is stupid good, Danette. Thank you. That's high praise, girl.
So this, the first place that we took that I put this on a
That is the bomb.
menu was at Preservation in Geneva. And one funny little story is that the first time I put a hot cocktail on the menu there, the owner was not, he was like, you know what, hot cocktails sound great, that I will put it on the menu because it's very seasonal, but they just don't sell. No, they're like dessert cocktails, they don't sell. Fast forward, that cocktail that I put on was a posset, which is a really old style of drink, and it was delicious, but it did not sell. Fast forward to this year, this hot toddy is their number 2 selling cocktail. So
Of course, they're all outside now.
yes. So things
But
change.
everybody, yeah, things do change. And toddies are coming back. I see more of them on menus than I have in the past.
I never envisioned.
Jeanette said she never envisioned double fisting hot toddies, but it works. It totes works. Totally works. There's no shame in that game, sis. None at all. These are also great. These are good to go in your to go insulated, your walkers. That's what we call them, a walker. It travels real well. So for football games or for sledding or for any of those outdoor activities, you know, just sitting around the fire pit out back, it works real well too. So.
And this also can be made non-alcoholic if you just leave the alcohol out, or you can reduce the alcohol as well. But definitely, if you're not feeling well, if you have one of these before you go to bed, you'll have nice.
Yeah. So all of the
drinks.
things that are in this, again, we come back to the medicinal properties of it. That hot water and that lemon is so soothing on your throat. The honey activates all of those, that saliva, it helps soothe your throat. It helps open your chest up. And I'm not going to lie, there have been nights that I was not feeling exactly right. And it's like, I just want a toddy, and I'm right as rain in the morning. So I don't know if that has to do with sleep or hydration or the magic elixir of a toddy, but I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah. And I think you can definitely, when you drink this, you can tell that it cuts through that cold, damp nastiness.
It does.
It's like sort of flurrying here in Louisville today. So it's gray and gross out. A perfect day for a toddy.
Absolutely perfect. Yes. Gosh, we've got new faces on this class. I like seeing everybody, and I love seeing everybody in your kitchens. That's really fun. That's good stuff. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about mulled wine history before we make a mulled wine. Okay. So, that will be the next cocktail that we move to. Messed it up and over poured bourbon.
You didn't mess
I
up.
don't feel like that's a thing, is it?
You just need a bigger glass.
That's right. Surely you have a bigger mug there someplace. Okay, so we're going to talk about mulled wine here. Let me get to it. Hang on one second.
Mulled wine is really delicious. It's been around. It's one of the things that's been around since nearly the beginning of wine. It was popular in Rome.
Everybody has a version of it too. It started in Rome. So the Romans, actually the Greeks would claim it first. And then the Romans, the Romans like to appropriate too. So they took it, and then it expanded from there as Rome expanded. And then it moved, across continents from there. So like we have a mulled wine in Britain and in Europe. And then we have glögg that's happening in Sweden and in the Norway area. And then we have gullwine in Germany. And those states and those countries, I mean. So yeah, and it was the less good vintage of wine that people had at the time. And then they would add sugar and fruits and spices to it and a little water, and they would heat it. And then you had something that was way more palatable than it was straight out of the bottle. So that's how it started. And then of course, when it gets cold and those spices, kind of hit, that's when it's especially delicious. So then we're going to fast forward to, so that was like 1300s in Rome, right? And then it's 1600s it hits in Sweden. And then it's 1800s when we start to add cognac to it. It's not just, spices and wine that have been heated and sugar, but we're going to start to add a little booze to it too. And cognac and brandy, of course, are amazingly delicious together with that wine. So That's what happens with a mulled wine. Today, this is what we're going to do. If you have not heated your wine, and I didn't tell you to, so you wouldn't know to do that, you should probably pour 12 to 16 ounces of wine in a container and nuke it for 30 seconds.
I usually
seconds.
start with a minute and then do another 30.
Okay, so we're going to pause and let you heat your wine for the next cocktail.
So one thing that's the alcohol is potentially flammable. So whenever you microwave something that's potentially flammable, you really want to keep a close eye on it, because I don't want anyone to blow up any part of their kitchen or house.
Yes, Shannon said 12 ounces. Yes, the recipe's I'm gonna put the recipe in chat
you can
right
also
now.
just do it in your coffee mug.
Yeah.
The recipe is, what's the additional?
It's 6 ounces of wine
So-
but yeah, do 12 ounces. You'll be fine. You'll be good to go.
Or if you want to do it in the glass that you're making it in, you can measure out that's 2/3 a cup, right?
Mhm.
And then you'll have room for the other half ounce of brandy.
No, it was 2/3 of a cup, 6
I don't
ounces.
math
I'm
right
sorry. We shouldn't math after so many toddies. Okay.
My dad was a math teacher.
Mhm.
I don't do it anymore.
Mhm.
He wouldn't do it either. I'm getting paid.
Right. Okay. We're gonna take a 2-minute pause while you heat your wine. Brent is gonna we're gonna kick our playlist back on for y'all, and then we will reconvene in moment. No, I don't want that one. That's what I want.
I think we already heard Dusty.
Are you connected? No.
I don't think we connected. There you go.
Did we do that one? We did? This looks like a Sally addition to this playlist. Look at her. That toddy is delicious.
Here is this. Oh, wait,
Now that you said that, that's all I can taste. You know what? It's been living in my fridge for 2.5 months, and all that's left there is the garlic. Not really. Sorry, I'm gonna wait. You're doing that with orange juice. Close. All right, while you're doing this, go ahead and if you have not, go ahead and start warming your mugs for your mulled wine.
And you can also use just super hot tap water to warm up your mugs.
Steph is going to lure Brannigan throughout the night. I think that's a fabulous plan, Steph. I think that's totally appropriate. Okay. Mulled wine. I believe that recipe is in the chat. It is. And we're going to start with the wine. Is that what you want?
Sure, yeah. So I just went to the corner liquor store here and picked up a bottle of wine. And you can use whatever wine you have on hand for this. I would do something that's more full-bodied, and even oaky is really great with this application, especially if you want to use bourbon. If you get a really highly oaked California wine, it goes so well with the bourbon because the bourbon has all those oak notes and it plays really well together.
Mm-hmm.
The bottle I ended up getting is a bottle of Bordeaux, which is a Cabernet blend, so it's fuller bodied, probably not as oaky as a California.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can see it there.
But it was inexpensive, so it could be very oaky.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. Okay, so Brent heated our wine earlier because that's how he does, and it's in our little Zojirushi here. So we're gonna do 6 ounce. Is it really hot?
Well, the other thing is I screwed up. Of course, I didn't know that we were doing 2.
Oh, it's fine. We can just do one.
We'll see how much we have. That is scorching hot.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all know the brand Zojirushi or not, but it is that's the brand right there. You need to find them online. Amazon makes these walkers of theirs, and our water boiler is a Zojirushi too, and they make some of the very best insulated things I've ever seen in my life. Like that wine will go in hot, and 5 hours later, it will be the exact same temperature. Not still warm, but the same temperature. So those are really good. Okay, we'll just do one of those.
There might be enough after.
Okay, so we're doing 6 ounces of full-bodied red wine, a ½ ounce of brandy or bourbon.
Oops.
What'd you do?
An ounce.
You did? Okay, Brent did an ounce, but that's okay because Mama didn't raise no quitters here. All right. And then we're going to do an ounce of 7 syrup.
I just did 3/4. We'll see if it's sweet. Okay, I'll do an ounce.
I need you to follow the recipe. That's what I need for you to do. We don't want to confuse these poor people. And now we're going to do a ½ ounce of lemon juice, unless Brent decides that he needs to do something else.
I overpoured.
Well, it'll balance out with the ounce of freaking booze that's in there. It'll all be good.
Oh, you just said too much booze was okay.
All right. So, and then we're going to give that a stir. And then we are going to, I'm going to do an orange for this one with a channel knife. Okay. So a channel knife is just simply this little knife that has a groove cut out of it on the back. And you are just going to pull it down the orange just like this and create a thin strip of citrus that we can do, spirals or whatever else we want to do with it.
So if you can do that over the cocktail that you're going to garnish, it's great because all those citrus oils really express when you cut through the zest. Mm-hmm. But you give it a little ring like that, go around the edge and
around the outside.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Gorgeous little mulled wine, glug, gold wine, whatever you'd like to call it. Let's see here. Do we have some questions? Brent's had too many toddies. A cinnamon stick stir is never too much. That is exactly right, Danette. Good call there. All right, how is it?
That's good. Yeah.
What does it need?
Nothing. It's perfect.
Nothing? Okay, good. That's what we were hoping for. All right, what do we think of the mulled wine? It's different, right? It's you go Christmas in your head with mulled wine, probably. Yeah.
And this, we are adding a lot, like our wine was super hot, but we did add some, I think my 7 syrup was cold, and we added some cooler ingredients. So it brings the temperature down. You can always pop it back in the microwave for 15 to 30 seconds and warm it back up if need be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing about microwaves.
It is. Also, this does really great batched, of course, clearly, and would do really well in a crock pot on low if you started it, a couple hours ahead of time and put it there. Anytime we do recipes and talk about batching them, you change the ounces to parts, and it can be whatever you want. So if it's 6 parts, that part could be a cup, that part could be a gallon, that part could be whatever you wanted it to be, okay? And then you would just follow the recipe from there and then taste it and adjust accordingly. Oftentimes when we batch, some of the sweetness gets skewed a little bit and you kind of have to go in and adjust on the back end of it, but you all just taste and see how that goes.
And 6 ounces is about, for if you want to do a full bottle, it's about 4 times the individual recipe. A bottle of a 750 milliliter bottle is about
25 ounces.
24, 25 ounces. So
Sandy agrees, more brandy.
yeah, I did. Did you taste it?
No, I'm not drinking after you were in COVID. Are you crazy?
There's extra bourbon in there. It'll kill its germs.
100 proof says it will, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any questions about any of the toddies we have had today? Any comments? Any questions at all about cocktails or spirits?
Yeah, we were just wondering, for the unopened bottles, we got a second set to give to my daughter. How long a shelf life would they have?
A long, long time. Probably at least a year, I would say.
Okay.
If you have not opened them, they'll store forever. At least
6 months. I think a year is probably as far as. I mean, there's probably still fine some of the flavors. Like if you have the honey lavender elixir, the lavender is going to start to fall out of it. So it'll still be a delicious honey syrup. It'll be a complex honey syrup. It just won't have that floral pop.
Yeah.
You're not going to get sick from drinking it though. If it's
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
And if you don't store them in the fridge, we recommend storing them in like cool, dark places away from the light, away from heat, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Just where you would keep any canned goods.
Okay, great.
Great.
Cheers
Cheers.
Yeah,
to
cheers.
you.
Y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. That's right.
Good mulled wine.
Yeah, it is.
I think.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
Thank
thanks for
you
joining
for
us.
joining us. Yeah, this is great. Anybody else have any questions about anything? I see you, Shannon Fetz, down there in your fabulous kitchen.
Did anybody get any good booze for? I almost said Halloween. Chris, it's the Toddies. Okay, for Christmas.
I got a bottle of Malort.
Awesome. Yes. So you got the best. You won.
On a bet, did you lose a bet? Was it a gag gift? I'm
Is it
confused.
from an
I even have a Malornament.
I saw the Malortament. Oh my gosh, that's insane. For those of you that don't know, Malort is from the devil. And they make it in Chicago and think it's some sort of, I don't know, rite of passage. Brent could probably describe it a little better. He seems to think it's okay.
That's a
Well,
drink, more of a test of wills.
It is. That's exactly right. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
It's
Well,
a,
I was given a new bottle of hillbilly liquor, bourbon, but I've been afraid to open it. It's 101 proof.
Like
They
it'd be
love
good
it
in a
like that
cocktail.
in
yeah.
West Virginia, I guess.
Right on.
You can put just about anything in a Bloody Mary
Yeah, that's true.
if it's not palatable.
Sorry.
Oh my God, you got the Golden Girls Tiki set.
The whole set. This is Blanche.
That is the very
I have
best.
all 4 of
That's
them.
beautiful. I love it.
That's so good. I feel like we have to have a Golden Girls Tiki cocktail now.
Yeah, my dad is taking down Christmas right now, and he drank that gin toddy, and I don't think he's going to be doing much else today.
Hello to you, Gordon.
Yoda.
Oh my God, there's a Yoda Tiki. Stop right
There's that-
now. That is
There's
amazing.
that, what's his name? Grogu.
It's Grogu. It's Baby
Who
Yoda.
has the
Yeah.
who has the Yoda tiki?
Danette, come back with it. There it is. And look at that.
Oh, wow.
I know,
I'm
I love
impressed.
it. Those are great.
My
Oh,
dad has
oh, there
those.
we go. Yoda mugs coming from
I'm gonna
Renee.
follow you around.
These are
I'm gonna follow you
great.
around. I can't hear you. Oh. Can you
And
hear us?
we have Show Me Your Kitties. Kessler, I feel like that's appropriate. You got cats in your frame every time you're online.
My father's threatening to sue you because you're depriving him of work. Because he's now drunk and he can't do his Christmas taking down.
I feel like that happens frequently when we're with Gordon. There's Gordon.
I'm going to follow you around and be your official taster.
There's Kessler's repping.
Done. I love it. Kessler is repping Make Muddle with her swag there. Okay, so we should mention that. Yeah. So we have a new order of apparel that's coming in. We've got t-shirts in both unisex and ladies cut. We have hoodies, and we have zip-up hoodies that are coming in the next. They will be here at the end of next week. We talked to our t-shirt guy today, so those are available online. If anybody wants one, feel free to stop over there. We also have barware that's up right now, and we are getting ready. We had this at Christmas, and just it got so busy that we couldn't get it online. But we have created smoked old fashioned kits, and those will be for sale on our website in the next week. We went to a locally sourced company here in Louisville called Saw Wet, and they do reclaimed urban forest wood. So if someone had a tree come down in their yard, they would call Saw Wet, and they would come and get it and plane it and use it for projects of any kind. So
We got some beautiful cherry wood.
Gorgeous cherry wood. And my dad handmade all the coasters for us and hand oiled all of them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So the smoked old fashioned kit will come with a coaster and a torch lighter and some chips, some smoking chips, and a 4 ounce of 7 syrup. And then we also have an option to add 2 crystal glasses to that if you are so inclined. So that will all be up in the next week. Product releases, we will look at like a new product probably come spring that will likely be a strawberry product. We're kind of excited about that. So, and we always have our subscriptions available, which are monthly and come to your door with not only, it's the same price as a 16 ounce. So you get the 16 ounce, but you also get a free gift with it every month. So check that out. Anybody have any additional questions for us before we cut you loose today? This has been awesome. We've missed you guys. Like December was insane. We were like, I think we had 3 and 4 and 5 classes a week for like a lot. And it was like, I don't want to do any more classes for a minute. And then this week it was like, oh, we get to see our people again. This is going to be good. We got classes. So we're glad to see everybody. Thank you so much. Again, any dollars you spend with local businesses go back into the community and to creating delicious products. So,
and when we try to partner with local businesses, so it's a double, we double impact the dollars there. Like we worked with Saw Wet, our t-shirt guy is local.
It's local
here.
in Louisville, Icky Inks, yeah. And then we're working with an organic grower in the Chicago suburbs area for a Valentine. She's doing Valentine baskets, and we're going to be working with her. She produces honey. We'll do some collaborative honey lavender products with her too. So it's always fun to work with other artisans and craftspeople. So, oh, and then we got the Mad Hatter here, Miss Liz. We're looking at bar rolls, looking to do some new bar rolls and seeing if Liz will build those for us. So, yeah, lots of good stuff. All right, let's do a cheers, y'all, before we take off today. One last one here.
We had some.
We have some questions.
I didn't see the.
Okay, awesome. Cheers, y'all. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. And please let us know how you, we love feedback about any of it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Anything good, anything bad, any ideas for future classes or product that you're looking for and can't find.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We got you. All right. Stay safe, y'all. Talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.